Welcome to the Honor the Gift podcast. I am your host, Art McCracken. I specialize in transformational leadership and high-performance coaching. I've worked with hundreds of companies and thousands of individuals along the way, helping them achieve greater outcomes in all aspects of their life. I'm a speaker and writer, but at the end of the day, none of that holds a candle to being a husband, father, and friend. I believe the greatest gift in our mortal existence is the gift of choice. How we honor that gift will shape the eternities. I also believe that career is a way of being and not just a way of life. And when you figure that out, by learning to let go of the charades and leaning into growth, life just seems to unlock itself. I know this because I've lived it. Quite simply, my calling is people experience living true. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the commitment to lean into growth. I honor your journey. Now, let's do this. Hello, friends, and welcome to another weekly episode. This week, we are closing shop to do a little inventory. It's that time of year. Seasons are changing. Some of you may be feeling that itch to create some change in your life, to feel something new, to get out of the mundane, to just mix things up. Many companies right now are looking to evaluate their condition as they head into the final quarter of the year. If you've got the itch and are feeling anxious for something different, it's time to close down your own shop to take inventory. The shop I'm referring to is anything that has your time and attention right now that isn't allowing for intentional planning and execution of what's most important. You've heard me quote Chuck Blakeman before, and I'll do it again. He always says, "Don't let the tyranny of the urgent outweigh the priority of the important." When we take inventory, we slow down, we look at what we have around us, we look at what's working, what's not, what may kind of the add, keep, or get rid of to evaluate what's going to make the most sense moving forward to get the greatest result. So what this might look like to close the shop for a bit. One idea that I have that I'm doing personally, and it can be different for each one of you, but it's taking a fast from social media. Reallocating the time that I spend there to get to higher ground, get out where I can be quiet, where I can just be open and engaged in learning. Carry around a physical notepad and take physical notes rather than just jamming on my phone. I've heard recently a method called the DOT method. And what that means is when you come up with an idea and you've got dots, like if you'd have a bullet point, and you always finish that idea with another dot, which gives the indication that there's always something more to come into your mind, into your heart, something to be inspired by, some new idea. You always leave room for that extra dot. So something that, again, social media fast for me, 7 days, reallocate my time, use that time to really get crystal clear in where I want to go, where I am, taking that inventory really to look, listen, and feel. So some of the other things that can happen during that time, you could meditate, you could pray, but just be open and slow to react and slow to make an impulse decision. This time's going to be spent to be very intentional, to draw out, to plan for a pathway to execute on to get a better result. So some things that you might evaluate. I'll just give you 4 areas, 4 categories: mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. On that mental well-being, how am I fueling my mind? What am I using my mind for on a daily basis? Is my mind strengthening or weakening? Am I fueling my mind to be something that's a powerhouse in my life, or am I ignoring it? Physical has to do with my body. I can already tell you where I'm going to be at inventory-wise on that, and it's not good. So I'm going to have to create some new habits there. I'm going to have to let some things go and bring some new things into my life. Emotional. Evaluate your emotional well-being. Are you feeling emotion? Or have you become almost mundane, or in this lack of feeling, lack of emotion, lack of interest, almost become lackadaisical? Or are you overly emotional? So again, that evaluation of where am I at? Where do I want to be? And then the spiritual self-evaluation, spiritual well-being. Am I spending time feeding my soul? Am I spending time serving others? Am I spending time connecting with my greater being and creating a pathway to become and to get closer to my divine identity? Am I connecting through prayer with my Maker? Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying this week's episode. If growth, personal growth and development is your thing, and you're here learning and leaning into growth, glad you're here, glad you're part of the community. If you want more of this, make sure and hit subscribe in this podcast platform or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Search for Honor the Gift podcast and make sure and subscribe so that it shows up each week with new updates, new conversations, new learning, new ideas and concepts, again, to help us all in this journey we call growth and how we make it through life and the way that we show up for others. Also, if you are looking for more information, deeper dives into some of these conversations, and just an update to stay in the loop, you can always go to choiceisthegift.com and click on subscribe, where you'll be in the loop on things that are upcoming and more updates on this podcast. Again, thank you for being here. Now let's get back to the episode. So, some ideas. Again, you might think about career, about your growth journey, maybe areas where you feel stagnant in life, and certainly looking forward as to where you want to be, what you want to become. So, 3 things to consider. One of those things being focus. And this will lead to some questions. And usually how we navigate life is we proclaim the outcomes. We proclaim the symptoms of our life. It may be the things that we're not getting or the things that we're getting. But we look at that and say that's in part, we try to solve that with the same symptom. So as we kick that back onto ourselves to really come up with a better path, we have to be able to ask questions around that. So focus being one of those areas. What areas of your life need more of your time, energy, and enthusiasm? Where can I be more intentional and less reactive and swayed by external factors? Am I clearly focused each day, each hour, each minute on what's ahead of me, where I'm trying to go, why I'm trying to get there, and who I want to take with me? Those moments in life require a great amount of focus. If we're going to savor life, we got to be able to savor the moment and be focused in that moment. It has to do with being present. And again, I've got work to do. It's time to take inventory. Where am I slipping up? Where can I have opportunities, and where can I make new decisions, new choices to become better in the areas that need my focus? Agency. What's working? What's not? And are you clearly aware of the choices that need to be made by you to get a better result? Am I making these choices? If not, why? What's the plan to create an environment for more effective choice outcomes, more effective choice production? Am I taking the opportunity? Am I seeing the choice? And am I making that choice? Remember, the agency that I have, again, is a divine gift, the gift of choice. How I honor that gift has lasting impact into the eternities. So if we recognize that we have agency, we recognize that we have choices in front of us, are we aware of the choices, and are we making our best effort to make choices that will impact us and align with the direction we want to go? Last thing would be habits. Do you have a daily routine? Is it working? Is it giving you life? Or are you off to the races the minute you step foot out of bed, relentlessly playing catch up? What habits maybe have slipped by the wayside or need to be re-energized? Maybe we need to start a new habit. So as we take this time to do personal inventory, to kind of close out the noise, shut down the distractions, get really focused on assessing where we're at today. What do we have as strengths? What do we have as areas that we need to improve? And what are we willing to commit to and be intentional about? That data is only as good as the moves you make once the story is revealed, once the information's been internalized. So remember that. Don't just go through the exercise to reflect and wish. Put a plan in place. Make the plan, write it down, Pray over it. Ask for help from above, on the ground with your peeps, with the people around you that you care about, that mean something to you in your life. Ask them for help. Give them your plan. Have them help hold you accountable to that, and be willing to make and keep promises around those plans. So my challenge, or rather invitation to you for this upcoming week, take this week to reallocate your time spent on social media, replace it with personal reflection and planning to set an intentional pace as you drive higher level performance and outcomes in 2020. Let's finish the year strong. Let's figure this whole thing out and feel what it's like to live true, to play full out, to give everything you have to becoming your best self. I'm in. My time starts now. I am closed for inventory. See you in 7 days, friends. Remember that growth is always a choice. Until next week, my friends, make it a great one. And remember to always honor the gift.